Hello, and welcome. It is yet another episode of the Akash and Friends podcast. We are in the last 10 episodes now. Did you realize? Did you check the numbers? I just checked the numbers yesterday and I realized that this is the last 10 episodes. And I'm very glad to have this person on this last 10 episode stretch, because this is a story that goes from Delhi to Sri Lanka and recently through Europe. And it's a story about music and the environment. And it's a story about somebody whose music is the perfect kind of music, because it's inward looking but outward reaching, if you know what I mean. And it's an absolute pleasure to have her on. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me introduce with your good vibes the absolutely interesting and brilliant Ditty. Hello.
Hello.
This is one of the proper ones. I thought about this introduction in the car and all.
Wow, inward looking but outward reaching.
That's how it works. If you go deep enough inside, you'll end up back outside.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on this show.
No, it's a pleasure. This is a trick. This is how I make friends, dude.
I feel you. I feel you. I also, all my friends in life are work friends. This is how it this is how it is. Unless you knew me when I was like tiny. Yeah.
No, it makes complete sense. And the thing is, we end up doing stuff that we enjoy. So then you're surrounded by people who do things that you enjoy as well. So then it becomes easier.
Yeah.
Unlike with comedy, comedy is different.
Why is it different?
Because we are way more selfish.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a really long time to figure out that everybody in comedy is not a friend. Most of them are just work friends. So you can't. It feels like your friend because you hang out a lot and you don't have any filter with another comedian. But no.
Wow. Cool.
Whoa. It's good to have you. Oh, I'm in a good mood. So, when were you born, Ditty?
When, like a long time ago, in 89. So I'm 31 now. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And you were born in Delhi. I think Delhi only.
I was born here. Yeah, I was born in Delhi.
And then you spent most of your childhood there.
I spent most of my childhood.
And then I was reading this interview where you had the most unnatural childhood activities, like science experiments and stuff. And
you think that's unnatural?
Very weird. Like I had science.
That's a total geek.
Oh yeah.
So like if we're eating santra or something, he would turn it into an experiment. he would be like, oh, how many layers does the santra have? Or crazy shit we would be doing.
What did he do?
He was an engineer, but he was super creative and he was an artist. And so was my mom, actually. There's some of my mom's paintings all over, yeah.
Oh, there's a Van Gogh also there.
No. It's a print.
Of course. वो वाला तो नहीं होएगा आपके. It's in Delhi though has changed considerably if you grew up in Delhi in the 90s. In terms of how much it got urbanized and how I'm working on this joke about this whole COVID situation, right? And what I find very hilarious is that all the things they're telling us to do to prevent getting the cocoa is what? It's shit that they taught us in kindergarten.
Yeah,
right?
True.
Like haath dholo.
Wash your hands.
Don't sneeze out. Sneeze inside.
Cover your mouth.
Right? And then the third thing is the mask. And we often think like, oh man, the mask is the extreme thing. But honestly, we are a generation that oversaw, or rather kind of grew up witnessing the air. Like, हवा धुंधला हो गया, dude.
Yeah.
Like, हाथ नहीं दिख रहा है मेरे को सामने. And at no point before this did we feel कि mask पहन लो.
Yeah, it's crazy, scary stuff. कोई मुझे बोल रहा था कि लोगों को सब समझ आ गया इंडिया में, लोग मास्क पहन रहे, सब मास्क पहन रहे, लेकिन सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग उन्हें नहीं समझ आ रहा है.
हाँ.
वो कभी नहीं आएगा.
वो कैसे आएगा, dude? जगह नहीं है.
Yeah. जगह ही नहीं है, कैसे आएगा लोगों को समझ?
That's how it's always been. I think it's like an economic thing. Like when you don't have enough urban centers, everybody rushes to the ones you have. Then development is corrupted, so it's haphazard. तो फिर बनती है छोटी छोटी गलियां और होते हैं random sewage issues और भराता है पानी. And but that's the beauty of it, right? Like I started getting into the environment when I saw the live Earth concerts. You remember the Al Gore thing, the 24/7-hour concert,
Wow. Yeah. Sure.
right? And
That
that's
was
when,
such
and
a long time back.
yeah, 9, 7, maybe something like that.
2007. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in school.
I was in school.
Yeah.
I this is when I started listening to Jack Johnson and all, because as a young boy, first you start listening to Linkin Park because an older brother introduces it, and then now all the kids, fully, bro. Oh, rest in peace, Dude Bennington.
Yeah.
But like after that, you go into Metallica because you get angry and you have no way to
Yes.
get your anger out, and nobody
Yes.
taught you how to deal with feelings. But instead,
Bhayanak Moth.
sorry, yeah.
Bhayanak Moth.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Orange Street.
Oh, man.
All the indie cool bands that we looked up to. Right?
I couldn't get into the Indian scene at all because I didn't know where to find it online, and I have anxiety, so I could never go for a show.
Damn.
It's very difficult to go for shows. I only go for Shashwat's shows, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please come to mine also.
I will. I have a feeling I might have seen you live at some. Did you ever do live from the console?
No.
No, then I have never.
Bangalore.
I will get Shashwat along. So.
Cool.
Or we will become friends, and then it will be cool.
Yeah,
then I can come.
maybe.
Wait, there is a point to the story. I forgot it now. Damn it.
Yeah, that people get angry. Pehle they start with Linkin Park, then they
Yeah,
go to
and at that point in time, I found Jack Johnson. And my life just took this completely different trajectory. And Jack Johnson was very environmentally conscious. He still is.
He still is.
And right around there, that whole concert happened. And then I just kind of got thrown into, the and certain things you start realizing if you've been on that for a while.
Yeah.
You know a recent environmentalist. Focusing on the things that you are not gonna, it's annoying a little bit.
Yeah. And also, as you go along the journey, all these deeper layers get revealed to you, right? And then, like, wow, okay, this links to this links to that. You're just your mind explodes.
What point did you start getting conscious about the environment rather the environmental crisis? More than
I guess like I was totally into it. Like even in school, I remember we used to have these painting competitions and all, right? Like 2000 ka wo bolte the, like paint 2000. And us time pe we were painting like the year 2000, 2K. Usme everybody was painting robots and the world going to shit. All the kids were painting the apocalypse, So definitely, I was also painting apocalypse and I was like, shit, the world's going to shit. This is when I was like, 12 or something, 13. And then when I graduated from school, I was like, us time tak Delhi mein hawa kharab honi shuru ho gayi thi. It was bad. 90s was when the satellite towns started popping up, like when the IT shifted here.
And then when was the Taj wala verdict? The Taj ka verdict was because of smog being generated around that area only, the CNG verdict.
I'm not sure when. I've lost my timeline.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's 2017. MC Mehta, 96.
96, so around that time, 90s. Yeah, when actually my dad also bought a CNG car because he was also super conscious. But it was also in those times, I think he also bought it because he was like, it will save money and, this sort of thing. Yeah. So, but I was very happy. I was like, cool, CNG, and then I went to university and that was really eye-opening for me, man. Like I studied at SPA and I studied architecture, but architecture is a very strange kind of education. We don't have books. So, it's 9 to 5 and it's quite intense because you go to university, then you have projects and there's a lot of research and for everything that you make, you are loaded with so much responsibility. You have to really think about why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
And question a lot of things. So I found out things like I remember in the second year or third year, we were doing some research and I found out Delhi doesn't have a proper sewage system.
Yeah.
And at that time I was like 18, 19, right? I was like, what does this mean? Delhi doesn't have a sewage system.
Right.
So I went back home, right? I told my dad, Delhi doesn't have a sewage system. He says, what nonsense. Of course it has. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm telling you, IIT was commissioned to do this, but they didn't do jack shit. And now we don't have a sewage system. Most of our sewage flows into the Yamuna untreated.
Yeah.
So he was like, he also got interested. I mean, but like there were people who would just deny it. Like at that time,
Yeah.
being somebody who's a young person going home, bringing this news to your family, and the family, like, we don't give a fuck. Who cares if Delhi has a sewage system or not,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of got deep into it. I started to really think about these things, and my childhood came into play as well because my mom, she's a botanist, and she doesn't work now, but she really loves plants, and so I think I grew up really loving plants and trees. And as a child, I also had huge anxiety, so I spent a lot of time. I felt like they were really there for me, like I would just go and lay down and look from the bottom up, to the through the branches and stuff.
It's so. I used to do the same thing as a kid, but there were no trees.
Okay.
because it's Bombay.
Right.
But you could lie down, and it's something I've talked about on this podcast also. It's just the way it changes your perspective of how things align and fit with each other. And
Exactly,
yeah.
right.
Oh, it's
And for me, that still is the most beautiful composition. Like, if you were to ask me what is the favorite thing to look at, I would always say like lying upside down, like lying under a tree and looking up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is, but it's like multi-layered, multi-colored. Like it's just.
And
I
it
don't know.
always fits. It's like you could pick any frame out of that, and it's just perfect. The composition wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh man, apart from birds shitting on my face, sitting in the trees is an absolute charm.
Have they done that?
Oh yeah.
On your
Once,
face?
like on the happens.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's happened on the head also, but not
Head to is good luck apparently.
ऊपर दिया उन्होंने किसी तरह चेहरा.
I was for me the thing was we have a bamboo grove that we've been working on for several years at the farm, and that's my place. Like I sit in the middle, and then I lie down and I just look up, and it's just bamboo groves everywhere, and occasionally you'll hear a snake go by, and it's just the creaking of those bamboos in the wind.
How
That gent.
beautiful.
Oh
my
nothing
god.
like it. Or the feeling of, I don't know if you've tried
Bamboo
this one.
is so special as well.
Oh, it's great. It's
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Yeah.
Bamboo is the coolest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But the only problem is the water. But so much water it takes. It takes a lot of water.
Yeah. But there are species which don't take so much water.
Ah,
And of course it's a tropical grass, so but it is found on all most of land. Everywhere you go you find bamboo. There are varieties that don't suck up so much water. Yeah.
I like that. I like that fucking 20-foot tall bamboo just going.
Crazy stuff. And it's the most beautiful thing. In Sri Lanka, there are bamboos which are like, they are 10 stories high.
What?
It's
How thick are
crazy. They are so. I have a photo on my Instagram. I'll send you after this.
Oh yes. Okay.
Maybe you can stick it on this after this.
You most certainly shall.
Okay, cool.
Did music also happen? Music also happened in school only, right? Like that's when you started.
Yeah, I was singing in school a lot, and then so my family is not really musical, but my dad was always like, "Padho tum, padho," but like he was cool, but he was also like, "Padho," and he didn't like any extracurricular, no singing. So, but my mom was really sweet, and she sent us to like everything. Like my brother was playing all sports, and he was playing tabla, and he was. We were drawing together.
Shashwat is your brother?
No.
Such as.
Oh, he could be. I think. Yeah. Yeah. So we were really doing stuff, and My dad didn't like it, but it's okay. And then what was the point I was trying to make? Yeah, I was
Music.
music. I chanced upon it in school. I saw some people sing in the assembly, and I was like, I want to do that.
Ah.
So then I joined the Western music thing in school.
Did
And
you
then
do a choir thing and all?
yeah, we used to have a great choir called Artists Unlimited. You know this choir?
Oh, I've heard of this choir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we recorded an album in Bombay in Empire Studios.
Ooh.
2016 it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I have memories of this group.
Yeah, so it was such a cool group to be part of, and I was quite young then, and everybody was in college. I was in school, so it was a great foundation for me, to like
Yeah.
start singing then. Yeah.
And then life progressed. Did you start writing songs around that time?
No, I didn't. We used to just do covers, and we did write this album, but then I started singing in bands. So I was in a few bands here and there, like
One
my
time.
first band, Spark, and then after that, Ditty and Mark. I used to sing with the Jazz Bastards for some time,
Ah.
Emperor Minge, and there was Jolt. I was in and out of bands, and then Ditty
You
and
were in
Mark.
Delhi throughout this?
I was in Delhi. I was studying here. Yeah.
दिल्ली का कल्चर वाइब सही है एकदम. पता नहीं. I have it's a cultured looking people I see in Delhi. एक तो दिल्ली में everybody is well dressed, which is a
What?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Listen, I think like this about Bombay. I'm like,
no.
yeah, Bombay people have style. They take care of their hair.
That
They
I don't know.
style. People are just very nice in Bombay, I think.
That they are, but the clothes are better in Delhi.
Okay, if you say, I don't know.
अरे यार, there's that Deer Park के उधर ना, there's this one cafe.
Oscars.
नहीं, Deer Park के area के उधर ही, where there's a couple of bars and all. Not really house but so there's a cafe. I won't say the name of the cafe because I don't want people showing up. But comics tend to go and hang out there a lot.
Okay.
And there's a Super Kicks there and all, like and it's just like all these people with like this boom boom boom, like oh 3.5 lakh के कपड़े हैं ये तो, and like
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I find it very I've always found it very I get very uncomfortable in places where there's a lot of wealth, and B, just a lot of very cool people.
Yeah, I feel you.
Delhi is very full of cool people like that. Did you ever feel out of, because you're not like a Delhi person, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I'm not. I get told this so much. Yeah, I felt totally out of place growing up, man.
yeah.
I was a total freak, right? Making friends with trees.
Have you ever found an old one and just put your hands on it and just like
Yeah,
felt it
yeah,
out?
yeah.
Oh.
All the time, man.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do as well.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I think on some level, feeling a little bit outside of things always kind of leads to a more defined adult. In the
You
sense
think
that,
so?
yeah, because you
Yeah.
kind of, I think it's a great way to develop empathy, right? Because
Yeah.
when you kind of feel yourself as an outsider to the group, you ek to observe the group a little better,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
get used to being able to take a step back and look at things.
Yeah.
So I think that is very good, and the music
for
shows
sure,
the
for
empathy.
Oh man, thank you. Do you still feel like that?
What?
A bit on the outside?
Huh?
A bit on the outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there are some geometry involved here you might appreciate. See, it's not, it's individual points on individual planes,
Of course, yeah.
right? So on your plane you are supreme, and on your plane you are insignificant because it's your plane and there's nobody else there. You have no
Yeah.
dimensions, you're a dot.
Mhm.
The only way we connect to other dots is through circles, so circles connect dots, and we are just intersection points of millions of circles, right? Like you're just every place you've ever been to, every face and every person and every like I realized recently how much I am just so many of my qualities are things that were developed to impress somebody at some point in time in my life.
Oh my god. Same.
Right?
Same, man.
And it sometimes
If I
puts
was-
me,
if-
yeah. Go ahead.
No, go on.
And it sometimes puts me in a crisis of faith. Like, am I even like me? Am I this? Like, am Am I even a person, or am I just this collection of things that happened to somebody? You know.
Yeah, I feel you, but I'm now starting to feel like I'm so glad I was this crazy, like anxious kid who felt totally out of place, because even though I'm not that kid now, everything I am is because I was that kid.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
cool is that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the thing I tell myself when shit is really bad, because when you think about it,
Yeah.
purely through series of causation, right? Everything that happened from the Big Bang till now has led to this moment right now,
For sure.
right? Like बाकी सब दुनिया चल रहा है, but as far as I'm concerned, everything led up to this. So there is some
Yeah.
significance to it. Because anything could have gone wrong, dude.
Yeah.
One fucking butterfly is flapping one wing wrong, and boom, Shiva. We're all reptiles, all of us. All of us.
Yeah.
I'm licking my eye right now. Okay, it's not. It's too far away. Oh, so but then how did Ditty happen? Like,
Yeah, like I was in all these bands, and then किसी में कुछ हो गया, किसी में people fell in love, then they broke up, then the band was gone. Then किसी में somebody moved somewhere, the band was gone. किसी में शादी हो गई, भाई, band is gone. So then I was so frustrated, and like 2014, I still didn't know how to play an instrument. I was just singing, and I really wanted to write songs. So something really intense happened in my life. We lost my dad, and it was a really transformative period for everybody in my family. My mom's a botanist, but she hasn't worked for like some 25 years, like ever since I was born. And I was still in university. My brother was in university. And yeah, it was a crazy time for us. So yeah, I had this urge to express myself and to write music. And so I taught myself the guitar, and then I started writing. And the first song I wrote was actually a little poem I wrote to myself when they told us that my dad wouldn't make it. And it was a small poem reminding myself that he would always be around me, in the memories, and also outdoors, outside and within me, like you were saying, inside is outside, and then I wanted to turn that poem into song, man, but I didn't know how to play an instrument. So then I was like, I'm going to teach myself. So I taught YouTube Zindabad, and then that's it. Then I started writing, and I was so driven by this because I shared the song with my family and my friends, and everybody was like, you must put this out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna put it out. And so then Ditty started. Yeah.
And this was 2014. And 2015 is when Spotify says the first EP came out, I think.
Yeah.
Right? And so first it was SoundCloud?
Yeah, it was SoundCloud.
Hey, how you recorded?
I recorded here and there, and then Ritwik Day, he runs Gharka Studios now. At that time he didn't have a studio. We recorded in his house. We recorded in his ghar, in his bed.
Ritwik Day. No, that's Ayan Day. Sorry. No,
Ritwik Day has a band called Tank Band, and
मेरे को नहीं पता है, मेरे को नहीं, but रहेगा, मैं मानता हूँ.
We recorded in Ritwik's bedroom, and तब तक अब उस टाइम तक उसने कोई किसी को रिकॉर्ड नहीं कुछ नहीं किया था. So this was the first thing he worked on. Now of course he's a big shot and he's recording everybody. But yeah, it was cool. We recorded in his bedroom, everything. Yeah. And
I gave both of them a lot of time. Like after everything cracked and happened, and I just kind of gave it a good 2 weeks of listening, which is why I love my job, because I'm like, this is my work, and I was just driving around and listening to your album.
Cool.
Yeah, because I wanted to experience it in various spaces, because especially the album, like the EP, and I don't know, I'm sure you felt it, right? Like there's a significant upping of game in terms of songwriting and narrative.
Yeah.
You've embraced that spoken word stuff, which is which I told you earlier also, it broke me. Like fear, like sadness broke me entirely. Like
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, what is there to, okay, you know, let me open up the, this poem. No, there's this poem. I don't. There's a poem. Okay, it's about a what's it called? A ghazal.
Okay.
German poem, okay, and a friend of
Okay,
mine
cool.
read me a translation once,
Yeah.
and in that poem, no, it starts with "enchanted thing!" exclamation mark,
Mm.
and then the rest of the poem doesn't fucking matter because that's it for me. Like that was the poem. बाकी सब तो बोलना पड़ता है because सब लोग को वो नहीं समझ में आता है.
Right.
Right, and when I heard sadness persists, I felt like someone gave you my diary.
Wow.
Like I felt like somebody fucking gave you my diary and went, here are keywords, please sing. Because so much of what you're saying is stuff I've literally, like the sadness persists is such a, I have notebooks where it's written in corners and all.
Oh man.
Right, and it's so real. It's so and for those of you listening to this or watching this on the thing, listen to this song अच्छे से इज्जत से बैठ के, like, and the only comparable album to this album that I felt was this album that Oren Levy put out, the second album that he put out. I think it's called Secondhand Lovers. Is that a song on the album? Is that I don't know.
Secondhand Lovers, maybe. Yeah. I have to listen to this one.
Oh, that is like, and I heard that album when I had been dumped from a very long kind of relationship and shit, and it Bedroom Crimes. It's called Bedroom Crimes.
Okay.
And it destroyed me, like because of the context of where it was playing and when it was playing and all of that. And this album, your album, was it set context and then destroyed me. Like it was magic. And this song is like, for me, the centerpiece of this whole thing, dude. Like,
oh my gosh. I have to tell you, it's the first song I wrote on the album.
Oof, and it's your enchanted thing, Ditty.
It is.
It's your enchanted thing. It's,
wow. I can't even believe that I had the courage to put something out like this.
It's dehshak.
Like, kya hai? Like,
dude,
if you ask me, I like, yeah, I had so much doubt about it, but in somewhere I was like, no, this is just how it is. This is how I feel about the fucking, like, about everything. I need.
Like when you say to touch only from a distance for these words don't have to be facts from 2 miles away to someone transatlanticized, and then that stuck with me first of all. Because it's like, hey, Death Cab fan, and and there was too much relate.
Oh my god!
It was my life was.
You are understanding all the.
Oh, how can I not? It's right there. And then the Death Cab song plays. It's like, have you seen WWE? Because you're doing the same shit. You're doing a SmackDown.
I have done.
This is a smack. This is the top, the thing in the tennis where the guy jumps and hits the thing.
Oh man,
it's ridiculous. It's Bumrah setting up somebody for 4 balls and the 5th one swings in and boom, middle stump is gone. It's ridiculous.
I have to say we have the same watch, but today I didn't wear it.
Oh, whatever. See, we are friends only, I'm telling you.
We are friends. Let me go get my watch. Can I go get my watch?
Get your watch.
Okay, I will go get my watch.
What an exciting podcast this is.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
I didn't wear it because I couldn't find it. And now I still can't find it.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. Yeah. Oh, this is so sad. Okay, it's okay. Not for this, not for today. I will find it somewhere.
It's okay. I have been looking at my personal diary to find more subject matter we can talk about because
okay, cool.
You seem to have read it already. Sorry, what were we talking? Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
I was reading these lyrics and you know why it doubly destroys me, this song? It's because I am both people in this song.
Oh, really?
I've been, in small instances, been the both of these people. And it's ridiculous. Like it's oh man, it's too good. It's too accurate. How long were you working on this song before you put it out? Because it feels like it's like a lifetime of things
You're joking, huh? If I tell you, I wrote it.
in one shot.
Yeah. it's
Because
the
you're
one
Bob
shot.
Dylan.
I
Yeah,
wrote,
it's
I wrote it as a response to an event,
yeah,
happened that dropped on me.
yeah.
Then that was it. Then I was like, I can't touch it now. I can't touch it. So I added the melodies to it later.
Oh, I felt, yeah.
But the poem was, yeah. Then I couldn't. The more I tried to like change it,
It would fuck it up.
yeah.
Yeah. Some people are Dylan, some people are Cohen.
Yeah, but
So-
I also take time to write something.
yeah, but some things come out as Dylan.
Yeah, but sometimes some things come out like this, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the way how about the rest of the album? Because once you start with this, what do you I mean
Yeah, Death Cab was the last song I wrote, actually. And I never thought that people would think that song was a good song, Like, I don't know. For me, I thought, and I didn't think that it would be like this. Because when I was writing this album, I was in Sri Lanka. And I had come to India, and that's when I met Dhruv from Pagal Henna. I was performing somewhere, and all that happened. But like, okay, so coming back to the album, I wrote.
No,
Sad.
go for it. I see you're going somewhere. Go. Don't
Okay,
have
yeah.
to come back to the album. We'll come back.
Okay, yeah. So all that happened, and then he said, "Let's work together," and I was like, "Yeah, let's work together to release this record." I mean, I would have put it out. I would have, of course, put it out. But it was so great in the way that we did put it out, and what has happened from that, because I never anticipated this, honestly.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's been really, really nice. Yeah,
It's like magic, no?
it's like magic.
Well, it's even cooler because you're a musician. Because comedy requires cognition, Like the person has to, yeah, because the comedy, like laughter is agreement. Like they have to agree
Sure,
with
sure,
you.
sure.
But with music, you don't have a choice. You don't choose the
I
music
feel
you
you.
like, right?
Yeah.
It picks you out of a crowd, and your song goes out and picks people out of a crowd. Like that's insane. That I cannot even begin to comprehend how that must feel. Because you're
Yeah, it's
straight up
crazy.
touching hearts.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't really think about this stuff when you're making the music. You're making music for yourself.
Yeah,
At least for me, I was making this music to deal with shit.
yeah.
And then to like see that people really resonate with it, and it comforts them as well in the same
Yeah.
way that it comforts you is real, in a different way.
Yeah.
Is
That's
pretty.
how I felt with one of the. So I recorded an album with Shashwat Abhi, which no, but I'm not releasing it or anything. I'm just like
Why not?
I just want to make it and keep it so that it's there, like as a matter of record. I got very conscious of my
Will you share it with
mortality.
your friends?
Huh?
Will you share with your friends?
I'll put it on Spotify also because that way, yeah. Because if I die and my hard disk is locked or something, I
Yeah.
don't want it to be lost or something.
Yes.
So I'll put it. But it's like there's a song on it. It's called Ishita's song, and it's just a song I wrote for my friend Ishita. And it's not like people assume it's like a love song or whatever the fuck, but it's not. It's just like, hey, you are my friend. I love you, and it's a very happy song. And it was
Yeah.
written for Ishita. And over the years, I would just sing it at random times because it's a very happy song. And I started realizing that this is probably not just because every line in that song is an inside joke with us. Right? Like every single line is a conversation that we've had. So it shouldn't make sense to anyone else or be appealing to anyone else. But then people were just like, hey, this is a crazy. And I was like, oh, this is not just a
Yeah. Inside outside wala baat hai ye.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't know how you can. The big anxiety for me is performing. That I can't perform music live.
Yet.
So, no, I've tried, man. I tried Pele. Like I was also full drummer and all in school, and I was playing lots of instruments by college. I did all the
So
open
you did
mics.
perform.
I hated it.
Acha, you hated it. Okay.
There was this one song I remember playing at iBar in Mumbai. This is back in 2011, 12. And I remember singing, and there was an IPL match going on in the back. And I was just like, I had a genuine conversation with myself in my head while I was singing that song. Like, for whose benefit am I writing these songs? You know, like, I'm so happy just sitting in the room and just singing to myself. Like, that's the point of this anyway. It's catharsis, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
trying to explain what's going on to yourself almost.
Yeah.
Which is the vibe I get with your songs also in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, but now, how are you dealing with being a singer-songwriter, like a solo act? You must have a band right now backing you up.
I have, yeah.
Right?
I have.
And that means about four-ish, 5 people on the
We're
road.
three of us in total.
3 of you all.
We're
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand how you still manage to do a carbon neutral tour. If it's the 3 of you traveling.
That tour was not with the band. It was a solo tour. So it was me, Lucy, my manager, and a filmmaker, Ankur. It was still 3 of us, but we managed to do it. Yeah.
How?
So how is, firstly, there are detailed calculations on my website of like how much of carbon was emitted by us taking transport. We chose not to take flights, so we took trains. Some 23 trains were equivalent to 3 flights.
Whoa.
Like carbon emitted by taking 23 trains was the same as the carbon. And 3 flights and some hundreds of cabs. They were all like 1 ton of carbon. So we reduced it, and we traveled with our own food and stuff, you know, throughout, so that we weren't buying anything. We had tiffins. We were not doing any plastic, no plastic water bottles, all this shit. We decided to stay with people who were hosting us, so no hotels. And that was amazing because...
Good decision.
Dude, we even stayed with Shashwat's family. Oh my God, who fed us? They fed us morning, day, night, and they fed us so much and so well. It was like, it was heaven.
Yeah. All throughout
there were aunties, you know, who wanted to feed us, and they were like, "Wow, you've come to play music," you know. So it was great. It was great fun.
That's how my first tour also happened. Like as comics, so we do this a lot. We'll be staying at comics houses only for the most part.
Nice.
One cool thing that ended up happening through all the touring is like people would keep coming to shows. So लोग फिर डब्बा लेके आते थे show पे. It's damn fun. You should try it once. Like once Coco and all is real sorted, na, you should do a pot party after this thing.
Very nice.
It's very damn fun. हाँ dude, मजा आता है dude. Veg, non-veg, सब लोग अपना लेके आते हैं. It's too much fun. You can buy everyone ice cream.
Cool. Yeah, sounds really good.
So I mean, the tour was predominantly within India only, right? Like
just India.
And what cities did you hit? What cities did you like? What are cities that you would?
So the plan was for it to be longer, but we had to lockdown हो गया, तो हमें postpone करना पड़ा. But we did go to tier 2 cities also, like Baroda, Indore was super nice.
Yeah.
Indore was so nice. Jaipur was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
और कहाँ पे?
कोई जगह टट्टी लगा क्या? सच बोलो ना. ऐसा चलता है.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
एक भी जगह टट्टी नहीं लगा. क्या बात कर रहे हैं? एक भी जगह टट्टी नहीं. There was no moment where you went, yeah, what the fuck is this?
You know, I used to say Tatti a lot.
Yeah.
And everybody used to get so scandalized. But it's really nice to hear somebody else say Tatti.
Tatti and Haggu are great, dude. They're the best.
And what?
Haggu.
Haggu का क्या मतलब है?
हग रहा है ना कोई, तो हग देता है कोई कभी-कभी. तो जब कोई हगता है तो कैसे हगता है? हग्गू बातें करके हगता है कोई.
Right. नहीं, मुझे ऐसा कुछ नहीं लगा.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
You know what fascinates me now?
We also were playing outdoors, you know. That was such great fun. And like, I don't know, I will send you some photos, but it was literally like one of the stages. कहाँ पे था ये? I think it was Baroda only. जहाँ पे the stage was between two trees. There was
Oh,
a stage, right?
oh, yeah,
It was a farm, so we just chose two really pretty
yeah.
mango trees, and I was standing in the middle of the mango trees, and everybody was sitting. Or like Delhi mein, there was another farm, so we had all these beautiful trees. I think they were eucalyptuses, but they were really
Hmm.
lovely trees, and I was standing again like just in front of the. It was so nice, you know. In Delhi, it was crazy. I have this song, okay, that I wrote for the birds, and I started singing
Yeah.
it, and then the peacocks started singing with me. And this
Oh,
happens so many times. And I tell my friends, they're like, Abhi chal, Abhi chal. But the thing is, now I have proof. Now
oh
I have
man,
footage from different concerts, where some creatures have started singing.
that's
Or
amazing.
it's crazy. It's psycho material.
It's like when Eddie Vedder did the cover of Blackbird, and he starts making bird sounds, and then the audience starts making bird sounds, and then birds start making bird sounds as well.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I find this very interesting, like the use of space and how nice it is with music, because it's so much more malleable than comedy. Because for
Mm-hmm.
comedy, ideally, textbook, what you need is a room which is a black box which has nothing going on except for a
क्यों भाई
stage.
आप कहीं भी कर सकते हो तो काम.
वही तो है, मतलब 2015 में बैंगलोर गया था, कबन पार्क में फला फैजल करके कॉमेडियन है, वो बनाता था पार्क में ओपन माइक, तो ऐसा वो फ्री जोक्स का साइन लेके खड़ा रहने का और बोलने का जोक्स.
Wow.
Doesn't work as well.
Doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, because the problem is, no, see, like with music, no, there's no cognition. It's feels, like if you're feeling it, you're going by the feels. You want to listen to the lyrics, that's a separate cognition you can do optionally. With comedy, you have to pay attention to everything.
Yeah, sure.
Like I only have my words and my face to make you, or in my body language to kind of convey a story which often has more than one layer of narrative going on.
या तो ये नहीं हो सकता कि वहाँ चिड़िया भी गा रही है और आप भी कर रहे हो और
क्योंकि चिड़िया सुना ना तो गाया जोक. और मैं फास्ट बोलता हूँ तो.
I feel you, yeah.
Is it something, I mean, as somebody who's now experiencing this touring wala habit, like with Shashwat, when he went on that first big tour, uska gaan phad gaya. He could not, I remember he was so dead, and I feel like, because I've been touring for a while now. And as a comic, it's easier on a lot of levels because, sound check is 15 minutes for starters.
Right.
And there's only one mic to mix. And there's only one person traveling for the most part. And you're not really reliant on anybody else. But how has touring been as an experience in that regard?
Man, it broke me also. I think this is why this was a response to my previous tour, because previous tour was awful. It was just 5 cities. But it was 5 days, 5 cities, man. और हम मतलब वही सीन था कि
you thought you will travel and all, no? Like you thought you will have time.
fuck traveling. It was like you play रात में, फिर you hang with your friends because वही रात है, फिर तुम सो मत, सुबह क्योंकि 5 बजे तुमने फ्लाइट पकड़नी.
Yes.
फिर तुम गए और अगले दिन वही स्टोरी, फिर साउंड चेक किया, पहुंचते ही सीधा तुम वेन्यू पे पहुंच.
I know, I love it though. That is my favorite thing.
Oh my gosh.
25 days on the road, to the point where you're like, yeah, I'll take this con call, because you'll be at the airport at that point, and you're so used to like just mechanics. Like I know how to put things in the tray, in the X-ray, and this boom, and it's like it's shooting through lines because you know which airport mein kaun sa line fast jata hai, because you've come to this city 6 times. It's great, dude. I love it. It's I miss it so much.
Not for me.
But that's nice because you have a day job.
Yeah, well, I don't really. Now I'm working more as an independent. Is saal to kya hi day job?
But I mean, you are proficient in a thing.
I am doing some other stuff.
Yeah, which is something I want to talk about more in the second half, and I'm going to consciously take a break because I know you want to eat something as well. Perfect. So you eat, I will drink water, and we will come back and see you on the other side. Akash and Friends with Ditty, or is she here? I don't know where the layout is. We are back, second half. Akash Mehta and Friends, and today's friend is Yes, she's the friend. She's a friend.
After the break, I'm recruited in the friends list.
Yeah, and we had low-key coordinated already because her head thing matches my hand thing. So it's we were already naturally.
Because we're friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Some friends you just haven't met. That's all it is.
Sorry, that's Sultan.
Okay, how old is Sultan?
Sultan is 10.
Ah, that's a nice old dog.
Yeah, he's cute. Oops.
It's okay. We've had dogs and cats on before
Okay.
in various capacities.
There is a courier and he doesn't like the courier. Yeah, he will stop.
Somebody should do some studies into why they hate couriers so much.
Right?
Right? Because there has to be some reason. They
Yeah.
don't like any couriers.
They don't like any couriers. Yeah.
Is he a Labrador?
He is a lamb. See, you've already done some kind of a study on this.
No, I mean,
In your own world.
yeah, I have small scale experiments going on. So we were discussing before the break, we were talking about the work you've been doing with regards to the environment, because as an architect, I think you're in a place where I kind of realize how much architecture impacts things later in life.
Mhm.
And I think it's when I think I got older and more annoyed as a person. You know what I mean? And I met this other comedian, Vaibhav Shetty. He's also an architect. So
Uh-huh.
he shares these frustrations. I share these frustrations with him.
Sure.
You open the door and it opens the wrong way, and it should be a push door and not and the bench ka length is just the wrong length. So my butt
Yeah.
is there, but my thigh is a little bit too much outside, and
Yeah.
it's those things really get you.
Yeah, or like how in some bathrooms there's no nali, right? The nali is like only in the shower.
Yeah,
Or like-
yeah. Or when the switch, it's the first switch that your hand goes to is a switch that has no purpose being there whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's usually like don't flip that switch, the transformer will burn down, and then it's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
and-
Or you step out of a room and then
Yeah.
you go third.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh man, the threshold of a house, no? Those
Yeah.
are my worst enemies.
Yeah.
Because they're always this weird height, like how speed breakers are in India. They're the
Yeah.
wrong height. And it's always, and even the one in my house, we've had it for 15 years. I still hit it every now and then.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's just not designed right.
No, it's not.
And I think this.
And then some doors. Some doors का जो threshold होता है ना अंदर से बाहर जाने का, वहाँ पे भी there's a ledge.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? Yeah.
Oh man, wrong height steps is another one. If the steps are the wrong height, sometimes I get very, very flustered. Like if the steps were made during like the medieval times and they're the wrong height, I don't mind. But you build this building like after 2000.
Yeah, now.
It's interesting to me that the direction architecture essentially has been taking in our country at least, and in most developing nations, is like ऐसा बनाओ और कांच का बना दो तो महंगा दिखेगा और गंदा बना हो सके तो. You know what I mean? Like it has to, like Mumbai specifically is just Mumbai looks ugly very easily.
Yeah, it's just full of high rises.
And
Old,
ugly ones.
dilapidated concrete
Yeah,
buildings.
Yeah, and it's and there is a, you have to, it's like a focal length thing, because if you get very close it can be nice. If you get a little more further back, it's gorgeous. And then when you see it as like just the three buildings, you're like, oh, why do you think that keeps happening? I know it's an odd question to ask, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we are just, I mean, every time, actually, I had such a big culture shock, even though I have been to Europe many times, but I was there recently. And every time I come back from there, I have, layers upon layers of culture shock,
yeah.
And it's just that we have not evolved, any kind of a typology for our cities by ourselves. Everything was just put upon us, and ever since, it's like कोई तुम्हें छोड़ के तुम्हारे पास कुछ चला गया. It's like that,
But is it though? I feel like it's more of like that we just kind of let it mushroom as opposed to letting it grow in a ordered fashion.
Yeah, but we haven't really figured out anything. We don't have planning guidelines. If we do, they are quite flawed. And then
Yeah.
even if people had to work upon those guidelines, there are so many things that just don't let it unfold
Yeah.
in a planned way. So many things
Yeah.
that are keeping things from happening. And cities have just mushroomed. It's just entire cities like the satellite towns around Delhi. There's Dwarka,
Yeah.
which is built on a huge lake.
Yeah.
A lake is a natural depression where water would accumulate, right?
Exactly.
But you go there, you drain it, you build a city on it. What's going to happen?
But it's like the same with Mumbai, right? And you know what? I find it
Yeah,
hilarious.
exactly. Most of
Because
it reclaimed.
and
Yeah,
Mumbai, that's it though, right? So cocky of
yeah,
us to
yeah,
take land and
yeah,
rather create land where there was
yeah.
sea and then say we are reclaiming it
We are reclaiming it.
as if it was ours to begin with, and right? And we
Yeah.
live in Mumbai. Like, dude, my entire family's like history, for the most part, last 3 generations has been in this city and around it. Like, it's all coastal places. And looking outside of my window right now, the smoggy, because it's gotten smoggy, because they won't restart the trains just yet, because they want to make some money black marketing train passes, obviously.
Yeah.
But this city won't be here in 30 years.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've been sounding that alarm and telling my family, at least have a financial plan, like for the real estate that you own. And they just can't fathom it. They just don't
my
understand
family
it.
don't either. No, they don't. I keep telling them also that we really need to move out of the city. I'm trying to get my mom to move out. For so long she didn't. I said, okay, fine, I'll go. Ab aap log do. You won't go anywhere. I will only go.
Yeah.
But the truth is that life as we know it is so precious. It's so precious. And it's only existing on earth, right? We are looking for it everywhere. But we can't find it anywhere. We
too
find
far.
water, we get excited. Chalo, ha, pani mil gaya. And then there was that Mars One mission, which turned out to be fraud. And
Yeah. I actually know someone who auditioned for it and made it through to the next stage also.
chalo, bach gaya. Whoever this person was. But I mean, the thing is, like, I feel about all these things. I used to be quite distraught by it. I was at a point, like, especially when I was working in Sri Lanka, I was like, oh my God, I was really in a bad place. But now I think I've made my peace with it. But how I feel about it is that life is continuously shrinking. It's shrinking because of our activities. And the only space where life exists is on the biosphere, 2 kilometers below in the water and 2 kilometers above. And so it's just this little bubble where we live. And this is where life is, right?
Yeah.
And then we are turning this live planet into dead planet continuously via action. The more cities we build, the more we concretize, the more we, urbanize. We are taking live resources like these cities like Bombay. You're talking about these buildings. It's all built with cement.
Yeah. Which could have been way more productive to biosphere, but is now cement.
Yeah.
They're making the coastal. They're reclaiming more land to make the coastal highway in a city that is going to be underwater in 30 years.
Yes. I read about that. Yeah, they are also making the highways, man, around the city, around the country.
Yeah.
My gosh.
They're cutting through everything. Instead of just, if they would have just finished that rail corridor that they promised back in 2014, now you could have been transporting way more people, way cheaper.
That's right. But then it won't benefit the automotive industry.
That is true. But even the automotive industry eventually realized that electric to karna hi padega.
Yeah, but but electric is also not the solution.
I mean, public transport has to be the solution. I mean, ideally, we are looking at a world where you don't have to travel that much unless you want to.
Yeah.
You know, like a reorganization of how city topographies entirely has to happen, because you can't be traveling across.
And the virus showed us it can happen, man.
Yeah.
Everybody can work from home. It's possible. पहले
Except
जब
us.
बोलते थे ना लोगों को,
हाँ, नहीं,
then
comedian नहीं कर
people like,
सकते.
ऐसे कैसे हो सकता? You know, they would be like, अच्छा काम करना छोड़ दें, घर पे बैठ जाएं. But look, everybody is doing it now,
Yeah.
right? And it's people are realizing that for some people it's actually better to just work from home.
Yeah.
Not commute so much and not.
Which is, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. You know, honestly, what I think is going to happen is a lot of people will move back to tier 2, tier 3. And I'm really hoping and praying that those cities can take up, you know, building the infrastructure to make sure that people don't need to leave to work anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like
that
great
would be
internet.
beautiful. Yeah.
And then, you know, because, and these people will bring the sensibilities with them. So one thing I hope is going to happen is like 15 years from now, I'll have way more cities. You will have way more cities to tour in, because people might have heard you while they were in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, but they moved back and now there's a scene there. Another place you can move to, Dehradun. You will love Dun. My manager is from there and he's taken me once and all, and it was just, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. But Dehradun is also, I mean, I went there. Oh my God.
It's quite dirty now, no?
Man, they are destroying everything.
The
forest is reduced to this.
And you have to go higher for safety. You have to go to Landor or...
Yeah. Now you have to go to Landor.
Yeah. It's crazy, no? How do you ever feel too demotivated?
I feel awful. I feel quite awful about everything. But I have to say that there is some hope in me. I don't know. Like, I really like this monk called Thich Nhat Hanh. Have you heard of his? He's so thick. So he said he's really cool. He's a monk, but he was like at the forefront of the Vietnam War, you know, and he was like non-violent protest and that sort of thing. Then they banished him from Vietnam. Then he went and he started a monastery in France. Plum Village it's called, and his teachings are really profound and really wonderful and very, very simplified. It's the essence of Buddhism. It's like Thich's teachings. Yeah. He says that you know, that the problem lies within us, you know, like again, inside outside. He says that the problem is inside us, and it's the greed. And it's all of these negative habitual energies that we carry with us. And he says that that life is, that all these species are going extinct, that man will also go extinct, and hopefully in several million years from now, hopefully the earth can bring back the human being as a more intelligent and compassionate being. Yeah, so I feel like maybe there is going to be doomsday.
I feel like there is going to be, but I see it in 4 layers. Climate change being the more geological one, but then there's how quickly artificial intelligence will start replacing people at jobs. More than half the population of the planet is engaged in transporting things and people. And eventually what's going to happen is that all of those will be automated, and all of those people will lose their jobs, and a lot of jobs, menial tasks, are all going to get automated. So that's the second one. The third one is genetics, because when we are able to do more and more things with genetically enhanced people, the division will no longer be, you know, because right now you could be rich and you'll still have a dumb kid, and you know, he'll be an idiot and you can't really do anything about it. But then you can ensure कि ये वाला smart ही है. So when the rich start having
सारे kids smart है.
फिर अरे कुछ ना कुछ कर सकते हो ना, आंखें सुधार सकते हो फिर आप. You start with cosmetics, then
but फिर यही होगा ना. अभी तो हम सोच रहे हैं हाँ ये भी कर सकते हैं, but जो खाने के साथ जो हमने कर दिया genetics के साथ, we have modified our food, and because of that now we can already see the repercussions of it. Right? But popular culture doesn't want to talk about these things. You know,
Absolutely.
nobody wants to talk about how cancer is related to high yielding varieties of fertilizers, or we
Exactly.
don't talk about these things,
Yeah.
right? Because we want to shut our eyes to it.
Yeah.
But this is the reality. So
Yeah.
so genetically modify tum kar to doge, but then what is going to, nobody knows what
But
this.
I think science also increases exponentially, you know. So the mistakes made in the past take lesser time to correct in the future. On the shoulders of giants and little kids that didn't get the vaccine in the test group, who died instead of the ones who got it. That's what we all stand on. Carcasses of dead rats and people like us who took trials of medications and tried new technology and got onto a ship that either went to another continent or space and didn't make it. That's what we're all standing on, a mound of human bodies
You're
in
right.
some sense.
You're right. Yeah, in some ways, not just of us, not just human bodies, but of
But
course,
just, yeah, of all of them. And I think
And-
that is reason enough to fucking work on it.
yeah. No, I feel you, man. But science is not the answer to the world's problems. This is the reality of it.
नहीं नहीं,
Science
मेरे
is
को
not
लगता
the
है
answer.
वही बचा सकता है. मेरे को नहीं लगता है
Oh,
कोई
no,
इंसान तो नहीं
no,
बचा
no,
सकता
no,
है.
no. फिर तो अब तो हम डिबेट मोड में चले जाएंगे हम.
ओ रुको उसके पहले थोड़ा पॉडकास्ट खत्म कर देते हैं. So, what projects have you worked on in the last? What was the project in Sri Lanka that you worked on? Because you spent like what, 2 years there or something?
About
project?
3 years.
A long project.
Yeah. So I was working as a conservation architect, and I worked on a bunch of things. One of them, the most interesting one, was a house that Jeffrey Bawa, who is a really wonderful Sri Lankan architect, had built for an artist. And this was his. He's considered like the father of tropical Asian architecture, and his work is so intertwined. The outdoors and the indoors is so intertwined. You are inside, but you feel like you're outside. You know. And he built this house where he brought, earlier before this, the typology of houses were that the house was located inside a garden, but he brought the garden into the house. And so it's a very huge landmark in Sri Lanka's kind of architectural history. So I got super lucky. I'm a lucky person, and touch wood. And I got to work on this house that they had to remove it brick by brick and move it somewhere else to turn it into an archive.
What? Can they do that?
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, they did it. This has happened to several projects over the world. Yeah, it's quite
What?
specialized way of.
You can disassemble a building?
Yeah, it was a very difficult, very crazy project. Yeah. Oof. So this is some stuff. I worked on a lot of gardens. I studied permaculture later when I came back.
What is permaculture?
Permaculture stands for permanent culture, in essence, but like permanent agriculture. It's based on it's a tool. It's a tool to design systems, in essence. So anything is a system. Like a building could be a system, a garden could be a system, a farm could be a system, a city is a system.
Yeah.
You know, or even Akash Mehta and Friends is a system. So looking at systems and looking at efficiency and looking at how things can be designed to be more aligned to the natural world and learning from principles of nature, that sort of thing.
Right.
So then I studied permaculture. I started designing more gardens, food forests, edible forests. And then I started doing ecological research, which is to do with how cities can be self-sufficient and how we can just be better as human beings and live more sustainably, that sort of thing.
Do you feel like the music reflects the ecological work that you do?
I don't know. I think it's like when I wrote Poetry Salon, like I saw that a lot of songs were about this stuff, and that made me really happy. It made me feel like, okay, cool, because then, yeah, hopefully people would also maybe listen to this stuff, feel something.
On my way home to do the interview today, I was talking, just sending a voice note to Lucy because I wanted to use some of the music somewhere.
Yeah.
And she told me about the new album that you worked on, the collaborative album that you worked on.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sounded like something that was an overlap of your conservation efforts and your music in a very interesting way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, I will just finish with Poetry Salon.
Yeah.
Poetry Salon also has many, many songs. Like History of Us is about my time on the island and the beautiful things in the natural world. Or like
Yeah.
On an Island is about how I left Delhi because it was turning to shit, going to the dogs.
Yeah, that song is very intense as well.
It's intense, yeah.
Yeah.
Garden is really about sowing seeds and turning yourself into a garden, but also about the natural world. So there are a bunch of things. There's some references in Food City, and there's yeah. And then I started to also realize that wow, like this is so great. Like I felt more inclined to actually release this music. I was like, cool, I have something to say, which is not really being said in popular music, because at that time there weren't many people singing about this stuff.
I mean, popular music mein to none of these feelings are covered.
Yeah, not in popular. I mean, even in the indie world, like didn't find much. So I was like, cool, I need to. Now this project I'm working on is really exciting because I met these two guys, gaon mein. I met them whilst this team of German musicians was in India. They were traveling through the north of India, visiting projects where people had. They were traveling with an organization called Viva Con Agua, which funds projects on the ground. I was actually involved with the Tarun Bharat Sangh in a different capacity, in my research capacity, you know. Tarun Bharat Sangh is Rajendra Singh's organization. He's called the Waterman of India. And they have managed to revive various different rivers in Rajasthan, which had started to dry out and things like that by community efforts. So these guys were traveling there. They have this really cool, like they just come with musicians. They go through all these villages, Bundelkhand and in Rajasthan, and they went through, all of North India, and then they landed up at Varanasi. And then they were playing music to the people on the ground, like the women, the women in the village. They're called Jal Sahelis. They have been trained to repair these old structures, like little check dams or baulis or like dig ponds or things like this. So we met, and we just connected, and then we decided we were going to make a record. We started with one song, but हमने इतनी बातें करी, फिर वो एक गाने से 10 गाने हो गए, फिर वो 10 गाने से एक पूरा एल्बम हो गया, और फिर then we wrote a record together. And David, who was on the record, so it was David, Kano, me. David is a producer, Kano was the rapper who was there with David, and so David was recording. कहीं भी जाता था ना, वो अपना रिकॉर्डर ऐसे लगाता था, वो हर चीज पे. सैंड ड्यून्स है वो वहां का. तो वो he was roaming around with his recorder. सब कुछ रिकॉर्ड कर लिया, मतलब चिड़ियों से लेके ढोल से लेके ढोलक बजाते हुए लोग या चिल्लाते हुए लोग या बच्चों का खेलना, कुछ भी सब कुछ रिकॉर्ड कर दिया. And the whole record, the beats of the whole record are this.
Oh yeah.
Are the sounds. So it was super cool. And then we wrote in Hindi, English, German. हमने कहा हमें सब कुछ करना है, हम सब languages में लिखना है, तो हमने सब कुछ लिख डाला. And it's called Rain is Coming. It's really special because now we've established this artist collective which we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get lots
friends from afar. Friends.
Faraway friends.
Faraway friends.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm bad at names. Faraway friends.
Faraway friends, yeah. So then lots of people joined us. Like people offered to make such beautiful music videos. Lots of artists offered to do like paintings based on the artwork and stuff. And then we decided that proceeds from the record are going to go back to the organization.
That makes sense.
So it was, it's a really cool project.
And then this comes out in March.
Yeah.
I love this. This is exciting.
It's so exciting.
I'm very excited. I'm genuinely very excited. I think this is going to be damn cool. Yeah. I'm waiting for
and
more
the
music.
Music is totally different to what I write by myself.
I know, that's the beauty of it, right? Because it's like I mean, I experienced the same thing when I write music, which is not my thing, but it's something I do. And when I'm writing alone, like, I mean, the next album is going to be all the songs I've written with bands. So it's going to be, and it doesn't sound anything like the other thing, you know. The sum of our parts are greater than, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, it's I'm very much excited to see how you play with other people.
Yeah.
Collaboration is the maja boss. I'm enthusiastic about your career. That is what this is.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
That's pretty much all the questions I had.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I think this has been a great chat, man.
Yeah, it's been lovely. Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Absolutely, it's been a pleasure. And if anything, I wish I had kind of got you earlier, but I think it had to hit me the way it hit me for this to happen.
Cool.
Yeah, and also thank you for writing things, man, that are from my books. You know?
Yeah, telepathically you are communicating through me.
I think
I'm a channel for you to express yourself. Right?
No, don't make this about me.
No, but I have this friend of mine, right, who is a yoga teacher, and he's very, very spiritual person, and he is a yin yoga teacher, and he collaborates with musicians to do these yin yoga and music sessions, and we have been collaborating for some time now. I met him in Sri Lanka, and then we did a tour also, and we did some interesting things. And 3 दिन पहले he sent me a song by his friend called Buster, New Zealand में, and his songs are saying the same things I'm saying, right? And then उससे पहले he had sent me somebody else's also, and he's like क्या हो रहा है? He's like, you know, all these messages are getting channeled through you guys, you know. He's like so I feel that I really feel like I'm not a creator, you know.
Yeah, you're a conduit.
I'm a channel, you know. Whatever's coming, you just put it out, right?
Yeah, no,
because otherwise you can get lost if you start believing I'm the creator, and you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, man, you know, not a lot of musicians would say that, but I'm glad that you do. in the mythos that is Ditty, another fine detail is added.
Akash Mehta, thank you so much for having me.
Not at all. It has been
so
my
when
pleasure.
You're in Delhi, then we should meet, because I think I will also be here, maybe, if I haven't left by then.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. वरना बोलो तुम किधर जा रहे हो, उधर शो कर लेंगे यार, टेंशन नहीं है.
क्या बात है, मैं फर्स्ट रो में बैठ के मैं हंसूंगी.
हाँ, क्योंकि वो भी मत करना.
But देखो मेरी हंसी ऐसी है, I get thrown out of places because I'm laughing too hard.
You've not seen my videos, no? That's why you're saying all this. कभी देखना.
ठीक है.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I also laugh at the wrong time, which is.
I feel you about that. So that's because I'm a tube light. So like sometimes.
No, I'm not even a tube light. I'm laughing at the show that's going on in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been great. Where can everybody follow you? What are you called on the Instagrams?
I'm called Hey Ditty, HEYYDITTY.
All right, make sure you follow her. I have not followed you yet. I'm going to follow you now because it's because you have a public profile.
I will also find you.
No,
I'll find you, and my music is everywhere. Please listen.
Yes.
And show faraway friends some love as well, please.
Absolutely. We have all the links in the thing with the description and the thing. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank you.
And last 10 episodes. Okay. And we don't know whether we're coming back, but we are working on it. So we'll see. Take care. Be safe.